With the door in position, mark the 2 bolt holes. Place the door back on the bench and lay the door mount pockets over your 2 marks. Make sure they're dead center. Now hold the pocket in place and scribe around the outside. Cut the opening for your door mount pocket. Now we've put the door back on the car and we determined that there's more that needs to come out to put the door mount pocket in the proper position. Now place the door back on the car and we'll check the clearance. Well, as luck would have it, we're right in the way of our window channel bracket. So these brackets are going to have to be moved. Take a look here. Here's the mount bracket. We're going to have to cut it off the channel and move it up. And wouldn't you know it, our top bracket is in the way also, so we'll have to move that one. Okay, we've modified our window channels and we're going to put it back on the car to see how things are working. Well, we solved the bracket problem, but we still had a clearance problem, so we had to put a slight S-shaped bend in the bottom hinge arm to get it to clear the window channel. We'll also have to modify the door mount pocket before we weld it into the door. Here we've sliced it and we follow the contour, the new contour of the hinge arm. There's a couple of gaps that'll have to be welded shut before we go to weld this into the door. Align the nut plate dead center and scribe along the back. This will give you an index when you go to set up the door mount pockets dead center for the first time. Now install the set screws into the hinge arms. These set screws allow you to adjust the door in and out. Set them up to where they protrude through the hinge about 1/8 of an inch. Install the bolts and the adjusting plate. And bolt the door mount pockets to the hinge arms. Your scribe line around the back is going to allow you to set up that door mount pocket dead center. Trim the door mount pocket so it does not interfere with the B-pillar. Both hinge arms should now swing without interference. Place the door back on the car and make sure you have your door gaps aligned. The door mount pockets should be floating on the inside of the door and they should be bolted down to the hinge arms dead center. At this point you're ready to tack weld the door mount pockets to the door. Make sure you tack weld the door mount pockets at all 4 corners. With the pockets tacked in, you're ready to cut off the temporary alignment tabs at the back of the door only. Do not remove the tabs at the front of the door at this time. The door will now swing open. Now you may have noticed the front of the door dropping as we opened it. That's because the bottom door mount pocket is flexing quite a bit. There's not enough sheet metal there to hold it in place. So we'll be putting a brace in there to stiffen the door. Back on the bench, we're ready to finish welding the door mount pockets. Trim away the excess material of the door mount pocket and weld it in place. Now don't trim it all at one time. You want to do a little section at a time so not to disturb the 4 spot welds that are holding that door mount pocket in position. Here you can see the brace that we've welded into the door. It's a 1/2 inch square tubing that extends from the bottom of the door all the way up. We've welded it to the back of the door mount pockets and a couple of areas along the door panel. Now the door swings without any drop. Okay, we're going to look at filling up the front fender well now. Take a piece of thin cardboard and make yourself a template of the filler panel. Now when you cut out the template, you want to cut it back from the line about 3/16 of an inch. This is so your panel will not interfere with the edge of your fender. Go ahead and cut out your panel now out of steel and weld it in place. You can see here how we're filled in and we did not disturb the leading edge of the fender at all. You may have some other holes to fill in that you can't get to the back with a pencil. So here's a trick. Take a thin piece of cardboard like a manila folder, hold it over the hole and scrub it back and forth on the edge with your thumb. This is going to make an impression of the hole that you can use as a template to make a filler panel. Okay, our jam is all filled in and primed, and we're ready to continue with the latches. Step 5. Installing Hagen latches. Take the door off and put it back up on the bench. Hold the latch plate over the edge of the door and scribe around the plate. You'll go and cut the opening and remove anything that's in the way, and then go ahead and weld this plate in. Let's look at how the latch sets in the door. The activating lever is going to need clearance to attach the rod to, so we had to cut this slot in the door panel. Bolt the latch in place and check to see if it actuates properly. Next, we mark the position of the striker bolt. To do so, we're going to have to put a scribe through the latch and scratch the position onto the A-pillar. Go ahead and close the door and clamp it in place. Then reach inside the door with your scribe and mark this position. Here's the position marked. Now take the nut cage and hold it over the mark and scribe around it. Cut the opening for the nut cage and weld it in place. Step 6. Door handle linkage. Your kit comes with quick release clips and linkage rods. Go ahead and attach the linkage rod to your latch. Now take a look at the action on the door handle. It's moving in the wrong direction, so we're going to have to change the direction with a lever. These are available from Hagen Street Rods. With the lever mounted, the action has been transferred and the latch actuates properly. Step 7. Final assembly. Your kit comes with a doorstop pin and a vinyl tube. The tube is a cushion to go over the pin, and it has to be trimmed to the right length. Now you'll have to snake this tube over the pin as the pin goes through the receiver tube. Your kit also has hidden dome lamp switches that mount in the little loops at the back of the receiver tubes. These switches can be adjusted so they operate properly. The spring-loaded ball stop will have to be adjusted to match the weight of your door. Simply dial the set screw to the desired feel of the door. Well, that's our installation. This car is ready now to be smoothed over and head for the paint shop.